Well, hey there, everybody in YouTube land. Dave Turner here, giving you a channel update. First, I want to start out by saying thank you to all of my fans who have subscribed. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and although it took me a lot longer than I imagined, it still feels great, and it's a great accomplishment. You know, when people say, click that like button and subscribe, you'll help the channel out, I'm still not really sure how that helps anything out. I haven't noticed anything different happening since I hit 1,000 subs, but whatever, it's still a nice accomplishment. For those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, you've probably noticed that I haven't been doing much content lately, just a couple of videos in the last 12 months, and let me explain why. It's been a heck of a year. First of all, last year, 2022, was just a ridiculously full year of gigs and shows and commitments and things like that. I did I worked the entire summer doing musicals. Normally I take the summer off and I go visit family and vacation and things like that. But last summer, I worked the entire summer. I barely got any time off before going back to work at the school that I work in. And I went right from that into some shows and some gigs that were just really, really challenging. Some of the hardest material I've ever had to play. And a really big show just after Thanksgiving, and then I played guitar for Legally Blonde, the musical, and that show was a nightmare. And right after that, we lost Rick Anderson, the bassist for the Tubes, and I just had winter vacation, and I woke up after all that was over with, and I just had to look in the mirror and ask myself, what in the world am I doing? This is just crazy. I mean, it's great to be busy, and it's great to be successful and be hired for, you know, lots of different things, but at some point you've got to take some time for yourself and just not work. So I kind of just had a major burnout last year. And then in January, my wife Jenny was diagnosed with breast cancer. So the good news is that she's making a very good recovery. She's had 6 months of chemotherapy. She's had some surgeries. She's on the mend and recovering well. But that sort of took over my life in January, and dealing with all the doctor's appointments and tests and surgeries and all that stuff, and just, of course, caring for the one you love, your partner, the mother of your children. It's pretty hard to come down here to my studio and lock myself away and work on bass covers when, you know, the person I love the most in this world is suffering and not doing well. So I did a couple of little things here and there, but no real content, if you will. Anyway, that has done its thing, and also in the meantime I've gotten my room back. You may have noticed a couple of videos where I was in a different room. For a while, my youngest daughter was living in this space down here. I'll show you more in a minute. And I moved my bass studio into the room immediately next to us here, and it was just very small and crowded and cramped, and even going in there to try to work on a video or a song or something was just so hard to do. It was just very confined and cramped, so I just was not inspired to do anything at all in that space. So she has since moved on to living on campus at her college, and I got this room back. I gave it a fresh coat of paint, fixed all the holes in the walls, galled all my things, put back on the walls and such. And so I feel like I'm back in my space and I can work again. And now that my wife is on the mend, so to speak, I can get back into making some content for the channel. Now, given all that, I don't think I'll ever again get to the point where I'm releasing a video every Monday. I was doing that for a while, especially during 2020 when I was off of work and everything was shut down. I didn't have any gigs and I had lots and lots of time to work on stuff. And I was really pumping out the content. But in the last year and a half, been working steadily again and have gigs again. And the type of music that I like to learn and make for this channel, it just takes a long time, and there's no way to get content rolling out as quickly as I did a few years ago. So going forward, I am going to finish a few things that are sort of on the burner right now. I'm going to finish off side one of Kansas, Point of No Return. I've got 2 songs that I need to get done for you all. I've got Portrait He Knew. This song has some really challenging pick or plectrum work at the end, and it's one of those songs where I've got to sit down and work on it every day for a week or 2, because if I don't, all the coordinations that come from learning that song just evaporate and I lose it. I still have Closet Chronicles to play for you. That also has some nice parts that are a bit tricky. Coming up, I'm going to do a full cover of a CD I made with a good friend of mine, Ken Birch, 26 years ago now. I think it's this one right here, Ken Birch. And we've got 5 or 6 tunes. They're sort of a guitar shred style, think early Joe Satriani. So I've got a bunch of songs. I played bass on the album 26 years ago, and I'm going to redo all the bass lines for you right here. So that's coming up. I've got a song from Marcus Miller that I've been working on literally for 2 years now, and I get so far on it and then I get sidetracked and then I lose it all. It's an amazing song, but it's 8 pages of this, and one does not simply walk into Mordor, right? This takes some time, so I'm working it up still. And I've got a James Jamerson tune I want to cover. I Was Made for Loving Her. I had this in my hands about 1.5 years ago, and then I stopped working on it, and it's all gone, so I have to redo that. And then above and beyond that, I'm going to be doing an entire complete playthrough of Chick Corea Electric Band Inside Out, which is, in my opinion, his best electric band album. The bass playing by John Patitucci is phenomenal. It's absolutely a nightmare to learn. It's some of the most difficult stuff I've ever worked on. And I'm going to start with the epic piece Tale of Daring. It's a 4-part song. It's 15 minutes long. I'm going to release each part individually as I learn it. And then once they're all done, I'll stitch it all together and make one 15-minute video. If I just released a 15-minute video of Chick Corea, it would get like 3 views and that would be it. So I'm going to release it in piecemeal and then stitch it together for a final. But the bass solo on part 2 of that song is ridiculous, and there's about 64 1100 measures of improvised walking bass line that I'm transcribing note for note and learning. And then the whole final section, part 4, is just some of the most challenging rhythmic and change of meter, odd time meters, all that stuff. Just, it's insane. So it's something I've been wanting to play for 30 years. I'm finally going to do it, but it's not going to happen quickly. It's going to take time. So I'm going to be releasing those videos as they go. Like I said, the days of a new video every Monday are long gone for me, and I'm not really going to do just random pop tunes and stuff like that. I may occasionally do requests if people request a song that seems interesting to me, but I'm really, from this point on, I'm going to focus on doing stuff that challenges me as a musician and makes me grow to ever higher levels of personal performance. And I know that for a lot of people, that's not going to be the most interesting type of music unless you are a bassist and unless you love guys like John Patitucci and Jeff Berlin and Marcus Miller and Victor Wooten, those types of guys. If you're here to see some, Billy Squier bass covers, there's just that one, and I can't believe how many views that one song gets. I'll put a link to it up here in the corner. People are watching that video all the time, and that was just a random song I did in the middle of 2020 with nothing to do, and people just can't get enough of that Billy Squier song apparently, but it's not my cup of tea. Anyhow, so let me take you on a quick little tour of my studio. Not much has changed, but if you didn't watch the video I did a couple years back, then you may have missed it. So let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what there is to see. First of all, when I'm recording videos, this is what I see. The music stand. Yes, I read music, I write music, I transcribe, I do it all by hand. I don't memorize the songs I'm learning, because why memorize something when you can just read it? That's like memorizing an encyclopedia. Why memorize an encyclopedia when you can just open it up and read it? So anyway, I see that. I've got my little fireplace. I've got some Star Wars dudes. I've got some shows I did. I've got my beautiful family. I've got on the mantle, I've got those friends I've lost, Jeff Miller, my dad, Craig Johnson, Jim Templeton, and one of my most treasured keepsakes is my autographed Jeff Berlin CD. There's a Stormy. This is all my sheet music down here. It goes on and on. Over this way, I finally got the Citizen Swing banner back. We used to fly these on the wall at our shows with Myles Kennedy and friends. If you know about Citizen Swing, you know what you know. And if you don't, you should check it out. If you like Myles Kennedy, this is his first band making CDs. There's some gear. There's my little transcription studio area. My Mark bass amp. It's actually a TC head now because that thing died, so I put this in instead. A couple of CDs I made over the years. My double bass. It's not a great one. It's from China. But it works for shows. There's another Stormy. I've got my Star Wars blasters. I've got some artwork by my daughter. My Epiphone ES335 is at school right now, but here's my basses. I've got my Hofner club bass. I've got my Schecter 5-string fretless, my PV Palladium, my Dean Jeff Berlin, my Carvin LB76, my Fender Geddy Lee Jazz, my Squier Jazz 5 that I've made to look like a Marcus Miller. I've got my California Precision Special with flat wounds. I've got a mandolin, I've got a telly, I've got a couple of acoustics. Anyway, there's all that. So yeah. Anyway, again, I want to say thanks for subscribing to my channel and sticking with me. I know there has been a lot of content, and if you tuned in and saw pictures of an old Chrysler, you're probably thinking, what in the world's going on? But that's my other hobby, and it kind of saved my brain this year, was getting that 66 Newport. It gave me something to do while I was taking care of my wife and not making music videos and stuff like that. Anyhow, again, thanks, and stay tuned. We got some new material coming to you very soon. All right, take care.